representations can be made. Unusually, the legislation for APN doesn't carry a right of appeal. There is a statutory right to make representations instead, and these need to be made within 90 days of the date of the notice being issued. There are a number of representations that can be made, and they're quite complicated. The idea of the representations, or making the representations, is as a prelude to judicial review. The most important ones, however, would appear to be whether a designated officer has been appointed to actually issue the APN. It does appear from APNs that we have seen that they are issued en masse, and a designated officer is not actually appointed to work through the APN and calculate the amount of tax due, which brings me on to the second point, being the actual calculation of the tax. Often with schematic planning, it's debatable whether one piece of legislation applies to tax to create a tax liability, or another piece of legislation applies, in which case the calculation of the tax has not necessarily been accounted for in a correct manner, so that could be open to challenge. Also, other challenges that focus around APNs are whether they are actually in breach of natural justice, either ultra vires. That's quite a complicated area, and it's something that is put forward at the representation level in order to line up for judicial review, should that be desired.